hello.
Hello.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good.
Pretty good.
Wow. See, that's a much different tune from last week.
Yeah.
Yep.
This movie doesn't fill me with nearly as much existential dread.
Nope.
I am not at 95% this week. I am back to my normal 85.
I definitely am not questioning the meaning of existence right now, and that feels pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I feel great.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I just want to go on an adventure in the woods.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I would.
I'd like to support you in your going on an adventure in the woods.
But you going with me would be the cute part.
Lame.
Is there something we could do at home that's cute?
No.
Nothing?
Not related to this movie.
Yeah, you can sit there reading while he paints.
Ooh, yeah, I'll paint you nude.
No thanks. We can just make a paper mache person.
Dude, that sounds like so much work. And it's probably not going to come out very well.
No, it won't.
Holy cow, people. Hello and welcome to episode 33?
Who knows?
Sure.
I know. It's 33, I think.
Okay.
Episode 33 of We Watch Movies and Then Talk About Them, the only podcast on the internet where we watch a movie and then talk about it. There may be others where other people watch a movie and then talk about it, but this is the only one where we do it. My name is Andrew Westonsko. I am host of this here podcast, joined at my right hand in life and in all things by Becca.
Hello.
And at my left hand, mostly just for the podcast, but also in friendship, by Sid.
Hey.
Man, you've got this intro down.
Dude, I know. You'd think I was just sampling it, but I throw a little bit of spice in every time I emphasize different words. You know
Switch
what
it
I
up.
mean? First order of business. I've been asked to deliver a shout out. And this is a shout out that I will deliver because it's really cool. Somebody wrote to us.
What?
We received an email, and the email was just asking for a shout out. Jacob Ankney, friend of the show. There you go. There's your shout out, dude. You guys don't know him. I do. He asked for a shout out. He gets a shout out. I don't care.
Cool.
Write into us at contact@wewatchpodcast.com, and you'll get a shout out as well. But hopefully your message will be much more substantial than just asking for a shout out, because we will take questions, hot takes, or movie requests as well.
But we like contact anyway.
Yeah, do it. Email us, contact@wewatchpodcast.com, or message us, facebook.com/wewatchpodcast. Slide into the DMs on Instagram, preferably, @wewatchpodcast, but you can also do it on Twitter. I just might not see it for a few weeks because I hardly get on Twitter.
But if a lot of people tweeted us, we'd get on Twitter.
I think I would get notifications.
Probably.
I'm not sure.
I should probably follow us.
Me too.
We tweeted twice, I think. The first tweet was, excited to see Endgame, and the second tweet was, just saw Endgame. So that's the extent of our Twitter presence.
Wow.
If you guys want to see more tweets from us, email us. Or tweet at us enough times that my phone sends me a notification. I don't care. That's also @WeWatchPodcast. Guys, we're back on it today, okay? We're feeling happy. We're feeling light. There's a bouncy energy in the air, right?
Definitely.
Feels
I'm
good.
your first follower.
Dude, no way.
Yay!
Sid's our first follower. That feels great. But we did put some Endgame hashtags in there, so I feel like people definitely saw my tweets. But not anymore, because...
Someone liked one of them.
Wait, for real? And they didn't follow us?
Some guy named KingLit93.
KingLit93, why didn't you follow us? You just like my tweet and then don't follow? Follow for follow, bro. Let's do it. I don't care. Guys, we're talking about Moonrise Kingdom today, which is Wes Anderson's 2012 film, his third most recent at this point. We have previously covered the Grand Budapest Hotel on this very podcast, an episode which you should definitely check out if you are a fan of Wes Anderson, as we all are. He also has released Isle of Dogs since then, which I have not seen. Sid has seen it.
Mm-hmm. I have also not seen it.
I want to see it.
Me too.
Go back to some stop motion. We should just watch Fantastic Mr. Fox tonight.
That sounds great.
All right. Moonrise Kingdom stars just the very little lip of Bill Murray's gut as it hangs out over his beautiful pajama pants. And it is...
I don't think those were pajama pants.
Were they
were
not?
just his regular pants.
I want them either way. I'd wear them to bed. And it is the story of young love. That's all you're going to get. Because if you haven't seen it, then you should go watch it. This podcast will fully spoil the entire movie. So if you haven't seen it, is it a recommend from all of us?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, so go watch it. It's only like 80 minutes long minus credits. So you should go watch it because it is very good. And then come back and listen to the podcast because we're going to dive right into this one. Format of the show for any newcomers. Basically, we do some hot takes, which are short opinions on the film overall. Then we'll do some in-depth discussion. Each of us can bring up any topic that we want. Follow that up. There's not very much this time from what I understand, but Sid will give us the best of IMDb movie trivia. She reads, so you don't have to. Following that, we will have our final thoughts and a score out of 10, and we will finish it up with some other topics. Any other movies we want to talk about, TV shows we've been watching? That's really a free-for-all. So, let's get into it. Hot takes. Don't burn yourself on these hot takes.
All
Becca?
right, that's my cue.
Becca, what's your hot take?
My hot take is I love this movie so much. Like, I think I knew that I would love it because I love everything Wes Anderson, and that's something that we'll get into, I'm sure. But I've realized and decided that Wes Anderson is my favorite director and that I will watch any of his movies because they're all amazing. And this one was also amazing. And I was like trying to think about like what it is that makes his movies so special to me. And I think it's in this one I realized like he brings this like side of imagination and like gets you really engaged and involved. And I feel like using your imagination, usually when you watch a movie you don't use your imagination, but I feel like I was in this one, and it was like just exciting and this like very, I don't know, vibrant, beautiful world that I was watching, and I just loved every second of it. And the music was amazing and the acting was amazing. And I'm really excited for this podcast because I just want to talk about how amazing this movie is. So that's my hot take.
That's pretty spicy. Let's just clear one thing up from the outset. Becca bought herself Moonrise Kingdom for my birthday.
That is not true.
Becca is really good at buying birthday gifts because she always buys something that she and the gift receiver would very much enjoy.
Let me clear this up. Andrew handed me a list of things that I could buy him for his birthday, and I chose 2 of them.
That's also a fair point. Explain the bowling shoes then, Becca.
I had to buy myself bowling shoes so that we could go bowling together. I didn't have to wrap them up and give them to you, though.
That's correct. On my birthday 2 years ago, Becca handed me 2 boxes wrapped up, and I said, wow, this is quite exciting.
No, it was 2 boxes in 1 bag.
Oh, that's right. So she gave me her bowling shoes that she had bought for herself for my birthday.
I didn't think through it when I was handing you the gift. I thought it was a great gift.
It was a good gift.
Well, you keep mocking me for it.
It's just funny.
All right.
All right. Sid, how hot is your hot take?
I don't feel like mine's very hot. I like this one. This was the very first one I ever saw of his, and I like it, but I don't know. There's just something about it that doesn't quite grab me as his other ones do. It's definitely more like Andrew's situation with Denis Villeneuve and Prisoners, where that's his least favorite, not because it's bad, but because all of his other movies are so great. So I think that's kind of what it is for me. And I'm not entirely sure why. I have some theories about it, but I'm not sure. But I do really like this one. This one, the thing that really stuck out to me in this one was the screenplay and just how like blunt all the dialogue is. And I think it's amazing. It just like counteracts the whimsy of the set and like the production design and everything. I think it's a great contrast. But I don't know if this one, just something about it is just not my favorite. I still like it though.
So let's clarify a little bit what defines how hot a hot take is, right? Your hot take is not hotter depending on how much you like the movie. Your hot take is hotter depending on how controversial your opinion is. So for me, that's an extra spicy hot take.
Then I guess I'm the spiciest today.
That's a spicy hot take.
Okay.
I think, especially coming right after Becca.
Yeah.
I think that this movie might be the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. And having said that and having heard your two hot takes, I think I fall somewhere in between though. I've seen half of Wes Anderson's movies at this point. And I don't know. It might go on the bottom for me as well. But that's just because, again, his other ones are so good. And while I was watching it, there's a lot of really interesting things going on. And I think that it does have a lot kind of bubbling under the surface and a lot of things that you can take away from it. I also think it's, not more. It's very characteristic of him to have a very enjoyable movie that has some very, very complex undertones, right? So you have something like Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is basically about entering middle age and like the complicated relationship that you have with your own life at that point, right? Or like Grand Budapest Hotel, which is essentially the history of an imaginary country and its rise and fall, which is something that resonates very heavily with me because of my love of Eastern Europe and all of those republics that no longer exist. Again, you can check out our episode on that movie to learn more. But so it's very characteristic of him to have a very enjoyable screenplay, something that's very fun to watch, very whimsical, with a lot of complex things going on underneath. And so I think that the themes of this one are some of my favorite from something that, like from anything that I've seen from him. And even having said that, though, I kind of fall where you do, Sid, that like even as I was enjoying it, it didn't wrap me up in the world the same way that something like Grand Budapest Hotel or even like Bottle Rocket does, right? Like it's almost like it's a little more self-aware than some of his other movies. Like some of those other ones, specifically like Grand Budapest Hotel or Fantastic Mr. Fox, just like lean in real hard to the whimsy. And this one, I feel like there was a few scenes where, while very important, basically the movie blinked for a second. And it almost kind of took me out of it. And I'll explain what I mean later on. But I'm having complicated feelings on this one because I love what it's saying and I love what it's doing. And I did really enjoy watching it. And it is absolutely freaking adorable, like from start to finish. But yeah, at the same time, like I didn't feel as much like I was in the world of the movie as I do on other Wes Anderson films, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. That's not to say I didn't love it, because I did love it. Mm-hmm. And like as soon as it was over, like we could have started it again and I probably would have been happy. So I don't know, it's I'm having complicated thoughts right now.
Well, let's unpack them.
Well, who wants to start?
I don't even know where to start. I can start. I mean, I think I understand where both of you are coming from, and I also don't think that this is my favorite Wes Anderson movie. I don't know if I can order them yet, but I think what I love so much about this one is just, well, and all of them, and I mentioned this, I guess, already, but it's like, it takes place in the real world, and there's aspects of the real world, but then it's also just like so like out of this world almost, and like just like something that wouldn't actually happen. Like 2 12-year-old kids aren't gonna just run away in the woods and be fine and be able to fish and camp and survive and stab someone with scissors and
So freaking hard. That's such a power move.
put
Seriously.
a motorcycle on a tree.
Yeah, that's still I love that. Just you hear somebody screaming, it cuts, and she's got bloody scissors and a motorcycle's in a tree.
But I feel like, I don't know, for me it resonates with me and like my childhood. Like I feel like every kid just wants like an adventure and to be able to just go and do something. And so I think when I mentioned earlier about imagination, like that's where it comes in, like thinking back to being a child and like having this imagination and thinking that I could make it on my own if I were to like just go run away and have an adventure or something. But the reality is that it wouldn't happen. And I don't know, I think it just like got in the mind of a child really well. Yeah. And showed that really well. And I definitely got really wrapped up into it and just adored it.
I did tear up right at the end. The ending is really sweet.
Yeah, it is really sweet.
Cute.
See, I'm going to take a small, I don't know if you'd call it a counterpoint to you, and you're going to laugh at me because you say I do this for every single movie. But I think this is a movie made about children for parents.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. I don't think that a kid would watch that and be like, oh yeah, that's how I think. But yeah, I agree with that like it gets in the mind of a child
Mm-hmm.
to help an adult understand how a child thinks.
Yeah, again, I don't think that most children are self-aware enough to watch something like this and be like, that's how my mind works. But they could watch this and get wrapped up in it the same way that Susie does in her books. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. And like the more adult aspects of it could go just right over their head. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So and this is where I come down on it, because I think the underlying themes and what the movie is trying to say is super admirable and important, and I love it, because essentially the way I understand the movie is you have these two worlds living side by side, right? Inside of this fantastical world. Basically, you have the world that the children live in, and you have the world that the adults live in. And while it's technically the same world, it's really not, right? And the movie demonstrates that, I think, really well, mostly because in the adult world there are consequences, and in the children's world there are not, right? Like you do the smallest thing and it can really mess you up, right? In the adult world. So like Edward Norton gets stripped of his rank because his troop gets away. Mm-hmm. Whereas Sam gets struck by lightning, does a triple backflip, and is like, I'm fine. You know what I mean? So like, yeah. I think the movie shows very distinctly that these two groups of people live in very distinct worlds. That doesn't make the world that the children live in less dangerous, because it is less dangerous, or it is more dangerous. Not more. It is dangerous, right? Yeah. Like you said, like 2 kids couldn't probably. I mean, I guess if they were like really crazy, they could make it, but like they're not going to walk out into the woods with a suitcase full of books that apparently weighs a pound, because that suitcase would be heavy. Yeah. Like they're not going to walk out with a suitcase full of books and a record player and like make it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so we know as adults that there are consequences for things and that things aren't always just going to work out. Mm-hmm. But the kids don't know that. And the response of the adults is to kind of shut that whimsy down on the side of Susie's parents and social services. And on the side of the scouts, he kind of enables it, right?
Yeah.
Like they build the ridiculous treehouse, and he's just like, well, that's not safe, but doesn't make him take it down or anything like that. Like it just kind of is there. And I think that Bruce Willis's character is kind of the key to this movie, in that the answer is not to do either of those, to not stifle that childish whimsy, but to not entirely enable it as well. But our job as adults and as parents, when that time comes, is to encourage that creative mindset, but to temper it to a reasonable degree so they don't hurt themselves.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean when I say, like, I think it's pretty complex what's going on under here, because the movie's not saying like, just let kids be kids, haha, that's a fun movie. Like, it's like, yeah, it's complicated, and there's a lot going on, and kids live in a different world, and they don't understand the problems that adults have. But the kids need us, they need their parents, they need somebody to be there to encourage them, but also to temper them. And I don't know, it's one of those movies that, like, after watching it, I'm like, it's had an effect on how I want to raise children. You know what I mean? Like one of those kind of things. So I think that, like, that part of it, I love. And again, there's a lot of, when I said earlier, like, there's a few moments where, like, the movie blinks almost, where it kind of takes you out of the whimsical world. But I also think that those moments are super important. I think that, like, when Frances McDormand breaks up with Bruce Willis, that's one. Or when, I don't remember any of their names, Bill Murray and Frances McDormand are laying in bed, and it probably one of the more heartbreaking lines in the entire movie. But when they're laying in bed and they say something about, like, why are we together or whatever, and he says the kids need us, or what? How does the line go?
So he says something like, I want the roof to open up and be sucked into space.
Oh yeah.
And then she says, no, we need you here. They expect things from us, or something like that.
Yeah, and he says that's not enough. And, like, that's killer.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think the dichotomy between, like, Susie having parents and Sam being an orphan, and, like, there's a lot of really interesting things going on. Like, my only issue with this movie comes down just, like, that he doesn't quite meet the same standard of execution that he does on some of his other films. And so inevitably I'm going to compare this to other Wes Anderson films. If this film was in a vacuum, like, fantastic. But, like, I'm allowed to expect a Royal Tenenbaums or a Grand Budapest Hotel, because that's what he's given me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a whole long, huge, rambling rant. Basically, I love what is going on in this movie. I just love some of his others more, and so it's hard for me to gush and gush and gush. I don't know. Even though I did just kind of gush. Whatever. It's, like I said, it's complicated. I'm having complicated feelings. That's my rant.
That was a good rant.
That's your one rant for the episode.
I only get one?
Shut it up the rest of the time. All right, Becca. It's just us.
Oh, okay. Cool. Hey, Sid.
I think while you guys were talking, one thing kind of stuck out to me on why this one doesn't quite work for me, and we kind of talked about it right after we finished it, but Andrew brought up that this is, like, the least Wes Anderson that he's made, and I think that's why, I don't know, I think that's why I don't like this one as much, because, like, I love Wes Anderson. Like, as you're watching most of his movies, you're just, like, completely enamored with how everything is on screen, how he puts everything out there for you, and it feels like you're just watching a spectacle. And it's kind of like one of those few movies that just, like, afterwards you're just like, I love movies so much, and you just want to cry about it. But I think because this one is, like, a little bit more based in reality, it's just not as fun for me. And also, I think when I first watched it, I was, like, 18, and I was, like, really weirded out by, like, the little kid romance, and, like, they were talking about boners, and I was just, like, really put off by it. So I think that's one reason why I just, like, not super into it.
See, and that's, I don't know. I think I fall on the other side of the fence. Like, I wanted not more boner talk, but like I wanted more of the romance. Like that's what
Yeah,
kept me going.
Yeah,
don't know.
I did like that, but I think just like that one scene where they're like on the beach, it just like
Yeah.
sticks in my mind, and for some reason I just like can't get over it. Watching it now, I'm just like, okay, no big deal, but I don't know. Little naive high school Sid wasn't a fan, so.
And that's fair.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of movies that I've realized I need to be in the right place to really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Thin Red Line, I think I will like it again if I watch it. And also, this movie made me want to go watch Birdman.
Yeah!
Because I think that I will like it more. Like, I think there's some movies just in the past year, because we've watched so many movies together for this, like, I'm in a better place to accept some of the movies that I haven't accepted in the past year or two.
Yeah.
So that's kind of off topic, but I do think like it depends, like movies can change and our opinions of them can change depending on where we're at in life.
Absolutely. I've had a number of movies that we've watched either for the podcast or not for the podcast that coming right off of it, my hot take is totally different from how I feel about it a few months down the road. I think that Grand Budapest Hotel is one of those. Like, even though I really liked it on the podcast, I think I rated it like low 8s. I'd easily rate it a lot higher now. Like, because it's one that I've been able to sit and marinate with.
Yeah.
And I think that that's true of most good movies, is that I'll like truly really good movies is I'll love them off the bat, and then as I'm able to sit with them, you see which ones have a little bit more staying power, I guess. So I think that even just the fact that Birdman keeps coming into your head is maybe an indication.
Yeah. I really do think that if I watch it, like I think I'm almost ready to watch it again and really love it.
Or maybe you're going crazy and you are literally seeing Birdman in this room right now.
It's Birdman.
Please don't blow your nose off. Thank you.
I'll do my best.
And then jump out of a window. Spoilers for Birdman. Everybody here should go watch Birdman. It's a great movie.
So good.
It won Best Picture for a reason, back when the Oscars were good and didn't award Green Book.
I think I rated it in the 7s.
Yeah. I always try and mention every episode that Green Book won Best Picture just to see the look on Sid's face.
Just to see how much more defeated I can get every week. It's just getting worse and worse.
Last week it was a close call because we were at a full 95% on the existential dread.
Yeah.
And I brought up Green Book, so I think we
were pretty close to that level.
I think we need to stop talking about it though, because now it's just being talked about.
Can we please
I don't want to give it that.
Shut up about Green Book for what?
No. Green Book will live on for eternity.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
She does have things to say about it.
So much.
I still haven't seen it. And I don't honestly care to. If you want to watch Mahershala Ali, go watch Moonlight.
It's on Netflix, guys. Do it. Happy Pride Month.
Moonlight is?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Happy Pride Month.
Yeah, hard. This is totally off topic, but you come here for the tangents, don't you guys?
We love them.
That's why I come here.
You come here.
You
'cause
live here.
You live here.
Oh yeah.
No, Moonlight, very deserving of that supporting actor Oscar that he won. Mahershala Ali kills that movie, at least the third of it that he is in. Hard recommend for Moonlight. That movie blew me away first time I saw it. The cinematography in that movie is unreal. Directing is unreal. 100% deserving of Best Picture.
That's currently my number one of all the Best Pictures that I've seen.
Oh, really?
Guess what's second to last?
Green Book?
Yes.
What's last?
I think it's second to last. Let's see.
Let's find out. Since you're making a list of all the Best Pictures you've seen?
Yeah. Also, this is a side note, but one time I saw a list on Letterboxd that was all the movies mentioned in Star by Brockhampton. And it was amazing.
That's an incredibly random list.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, Moonlight's my number one. My last one is Annie Hall. Not a fan of that one.
Yeah, I'm probably just not going to watch any Woody Allen.
Probably not. I'll probably pirate the one that Timothée Chalamet's in, so I don't have to pay him.
He's in one?
Yeah, they filmed it like 2 years ago, but then someone remembered that he's a pedophile. And
Yeah,
they
he
were
was
like,
still a pedophile then.
He's been a pedophile for a while.
Wait, Moonlight is your top?
Yeah.
What are your top 5? Just out of my
Top
curiosity.
Let's see. I know it's Moonlight. I can't even think. Silence of the Lambs, Rocky, 12 Years a Slave, Schindler's List. Birdman is number 7.
I'm doing just a quick scan here of the list because everybody out there cares. I think mine would probably be either No Country for Old Men, Gladiator, or Return of the King. Would be my top one. But Moonlight and Spotlight are also... Ooh, Moonlight, Spotlight. Super far up there.
I think I need to reorganize this.
All right, here we go, guys. We're merging back into traffic here. Moonrise Kingdom.
Yes.
So, as far as it goes, like, my beefs with this movie are very, 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 very small, right? It literally just comes down to it didn't make me feel like I was living in the world as much as other Wes Anderson movies do.
And I don't think it needed to for this movie. Like, I didn't feel like I needed to be there with them, I guess.
Makes sense. I guess they do even have, like, the narrator to separate you from them. And
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It just very much felt like it reminded me of all my favorite, like, fantasy books growing up, and just, like, having an imagination. And I don't know. I thought, for me, like, this movie was very special. I really loved it. And I don't think that I needed to be in it, but just, like, watch it and
that's fair. I could just be
enjoy it.
projecting my own expectations of what a Wes Anderson movie is.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not the movie's responsibility to meet my expectations. Like, it's whatever he wants it to be.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Who's your guys' favorite characters?
I think Sam was my favorite character. He's so cute.
He's an awesome kid.
And he's just like, I don't know. His face and his, like, mouth was always, like, so serious the whole time.
It was funny watching this because I'm pretty sure that Finn Wolfhard saw this movie and was just like, that's my entire persona now.
I think my favorite character was either Bill Murray. Well, that's not the character, but Bill Murray.
I forget all their names
or
too.
Edward Norton. Those guys were I love Bill Murray. And I love his gut spilling over his pants.
That's the freaking funniest thing I've ever seen.
Did I ever tell you guys that Bill Murray checked my mom out once?
I was just going to ask you that because I remember you telling me something
about it a
like
lot.
that.
Yeah, Bill Murray checked my mom out and then, like, you know, like, hit his brothers, be like, check her out.
When was this?
80s. And, you know, people say I look a lot like my mom, so if she could get Bill Murray, then I
you
could get Bill Murray. Hit me up,
Is
bud.
that what you want?
Bill Murray.
I love Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, friend of the podcast, if you want to come on.
And marry me.
I think he might be a little old for you.
You know, we can make it work.
Anybody, here's the thing. You can make anything work. But he couldn't make it work with Frances McDormand. Well, no, they did make it work. They stayed together for the kids.
Oh, I thought you were talking about in real life.
No. Talking about
I don't remember that.
in the movie we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Sydney.
That thing. Forgot about it. Sorry.
That's fine. Yeah, for me, it's a pretty close race between Edward Norton and Bruce Willis.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think that Bruce Willis. I think they're the two characters that have the most transformation over the course of the film. And I think that Bruce Willis learns the most as far as that divide between the child world and the adult world. Mostly because he stops running around with Frances McDormand, but he helps Sam run around with Susie, which is kind of cute. Because he gets, like, that's kind of his whole deal at the end, right? Is he's like, I can't do this because I'm an adult. It's got consequences. She's got a husband. Like, this is my life and whatever. But Sam, on the other hand, he's a 12-year-old kid. If he wants to go paint or reading a book, have at it. You know what I mean? Like, no harm done. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then Edward Norton, like, learns what's important, right? Which is the people in your life. Social services is also amazing.
I think I'm really stuck in the child world of this movie. Like, those are my favorite scenes, my favorite characters. Like,
I agree.
I like the adult world is there, but like I like being able to stay in the child world because it's more fun.
It's a metaphor for Becca's life.
Yes,
Right.
I want to stay a
Well,
kid.
and I think it's super adorable that at the end, I misspoke. At the end, he's not painting her reading a book. He's painting
Moonrise Kingdom.
Moonrise Kingdom. He's painting their little getaway, which doesn't exist anymore. I don't know. I think that's really, really cute.
Yeah, I
That
think so too.
when he's looking at her to paint it, but when he sees her, he sees this like incredibly magical day that they had. And that's really cute.
Yeah, because I don't know. I almost feel like in that scene, like the whole thing could have been more about their imagination than reality. Like,
Yeah, maybe.
they didn't really run away, but it was just like a one day, like they went out in the woods and their parents couldn't find them for a couple hours or something like that.
Could be.
I mean, it's obviously a lot more dramatic than that in the movie, but I feel like just that last end scene and the idea that like that place doesn't exist anymore and like the kids are being like watched over, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of it was real and how much of it was their imagination.
Do we know at the end it flashes for like a second who the movie is for?
Yeah, it's for Junyeon, and that's Wes Anderson's girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really cute.
That is cute.
Cute.
I don't know. What else? Anything else?
Not to be a downer again, but I was just gonna say I think another reason why his other movies I like more is because they're rated R, and I think
Are they?
yeah, at least like the two of his live action rated R ones, like not the animated ones, but Royal Tenenbaums and Grand Budapest are both R.
I had no idea.
I mean, like they're not like
No, I mean it's not like
Crazy.
they're
yeah, but I think like kind of the way that like the language or like the weird abrupt violence, like it kind of, I don't know, it just like makes the whimsy feel more fun, and it's like funny when you can kind of break out of the, you know, this like kind of trance that you're in, and just like the magic of a Wes Anderson movie, like just chucking a cat out the window is hilarious. It's 10 times funnier because they're just like, you know, everyone like they kind of act like posh and everything is just like beautiful, and he just throws a cat. I don't know. I think that's
I
one
feel
thing.
that. I can.
Yeah.
He's able to take it farther.
Yeah. Like it's just like a funny break from like this kind of like childlike atmosphere that you're in.
I honestly had no idea. I mean, honestly, what this or any of his others were rated.
Yeah.
Because I realized this is kind of cool. I like this. I really do. Criterion does not put the ratings of movies on their boxes.
Catch like some super conservative person buying blue is the warmest color.
That would require them to spend $25 on a Blu-ray, which I think is outside the wheelhouse of probably 95% of people who buy movies.
Yeah.
Because iTunes exists. I don't think you buy Criterion on accident. Well, I did, but actually, Royal Tenenbaums was my first Criterion, and I bought it on accident because it's the only Blu-ray that they had on Amazon at the time. I don't know if they have another one still. I know that Wes Anderson has, like, I don't know if it's just an understanding or like an actual contract or whatever with Criterion that they will release all of his movies. So
That's so awesome.
I'm just waiting for that Grand Budapest Hotel cover. I can't wait. It's supposed to come out, but like every month the Reddit thread goes around that's like, what are your predictions for the next announces? And everybody says Children of Men, and Grand Budapest Hotel. So
day.
eventually, we're gonna get them. I don't know. That's actually an interesting point. I've come to much prefer R-rated movies, not because they're rated R, but because it feels like the shackles are off, and like, I don't know. That's not to suggest. I don't even necessarily think that he's set out with this one to be like, this one's going to be PG-13.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But like, see my rant last week. The MPAA sucks, and the more power you can take away from them, the better. So if you just say screw it and put 2 F words in your movie, then you can do whatever you want.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think just like kind of making it art, I don't know, just kind of like frees up the story. Where like, I mean, you can't go like totally insane with it because then they slap a NC-17 on there. But yeah, like you can get like a little more colorful with the language, which can like really further the story. There's really hardly any language in this one, so I think.
But every time they do curse, it's hilarious.
Yeah, because then they're like, pardon my French.
What did she say? Where the hell are you? Why are you cursing at me?
Yeah, so I think because this one is about kids, like it probably would have been harder to slip a bunch of F words in there, you know?
That's true.
So, I mean, yeah, definitely. I think the PG-13 works better for this one, but I think for me personally, the rated R ones work better comedically, you know?
Well, and that's like I said, like my 2 favorites are Royal Tenenbaums and Grand Budapest Hotel.
Same here.
So. You've seen Royal Tenenbaums, right, Becca?
Yeah, I have. It's been a few years though, and I don't know if I can choose a favorite.
That movie is so good.
It's
It is.
That was the first of his that I ever saw.
Me too.
Because I showed it to you, right?
Yep.
Gosh, that movie's so good. We'll have to do that for the podcast sometime.
yes, please.
All right. Well, not to end on a dour note, but anything else? I think
I still really
I was gonna say I think we can all 3 agree that while at varying degrees we all very much enjoyed this movie and all very much think that it is worth watching. And any knocks that we have on it are not necessarily against it. It's just that his others are so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I really love this movie and I love the other ones. But I definitely like it more than the 2 of you like it, I think. And I don't know, I feel like we just have to mention the colors like in every Wes Anderson movie.
Thank you.
They're just so bright and vibrant and just like incredible.
It looks like The Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it looks like Technicolor. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like some shots where it's like kind of cloudy and foggy and it looks so good.
This movie, it honestly does. It looks incredible. Was it nominated for anything, Sid? Do you know off the top of your head?
Best writing original screenplay.
That's deserved.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the color I think this is one of the reasons why I really love Wes Anderson is because all of his movies are like this. Mm-hmm. They're all so just rich and full of colors that you usually don't see. Mm-hmm. And very like eccentric, and it makes it really fun to watch, and I would just watch it for the colors because it's so visually appealing.
Mm-hmm.
This is the freaking Argo year.
Oh.
Hopefully we look back and see Green Book like an Argo.
Yeah, hopefully.
Except for that Argo is way better than Green Book, and I haven't even seen Green Book. Argo's not bad.
I need to watch it.
Argo just shouldn't have lost to like half the movies that came out.
Oh yeah.
In any case. Anything else anybody wants to say? Or are we good?
I think we're good.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a ton to talk about with this one, I don't think. It's just a good watch. Solid movie.
Very fun. Short. You can get through it. This movie is a sprint.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it puts on the gas and doesn't let up.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, let's turn it over to some Waka Waka trivia, Sid, and then we'll come back for our final takes.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't have too much of this one. But kicking us off, at the end of filming, Cara Hayward got to keep the kitten that Susie has in the movie, and Jared Gilman got to keep the backpack that Sam used.
Well, why wouldn't they? That's awesome.
I would probably
Does he get to keep the cap? He should be able to keep that raccoon cap.
What?
His hat.
Oh, no. He should have.
He should have.
Because that was the coolest thing in the whole movie. The dance scene on the beach was saved for the very end of filming, so they would be comfortable with each other. Because you're like in your undies and dancing around.
Talking about boners.
Yeah. So the Susie finding the coping with the troubled child was based off of a similar experience from Wes Anderson, where apparently he found something like that. And that helped him like write this character.
Makes sense.
Opened in only 4 theaters, and 2 in New York, 2 in Los Angeles, but each theater earned over $160,000 per screen. So
Wow.
I mean,
yeah.
his name carries some weight though.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that's not entirely surprising.
Yeah, for sure. But this is his smallest budget, $6 million.
Jeez.
That's pretty small.
Everybody in this film must have worked for charity, man.
Yeah.
You're talking $6 million to get Bruce Willis, Bill Murray, Tilda Swinton, Frances McDormand, Edward Norton. Jeez.
Yeah.
They must do. They must have just done this one for the love of the game. Honestly.
Yeah. I mean, he reuses a lot of those.
Yeah. I
same
mean,
people,
they're all
so-
friends with him. And
Yeah. And then so these were the 4 director trademarks that stuck out to me. Let's just see what you guys think of these director trademarks. Dead dogs,
It doesn't bode well for Isle of Dogs.
absent or deceased parent, divorce, and strained marriage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's true, but like, I don't know. They just seem like weird things. But it's also like,
They do pop up in all of his movies
yeah,
that I've
it's
seen.
true.
Though.
Like, they definitely pop up, but like, I don't know. They don't have as much weight to them, like as much depressive weight to them
Mhm.
because of the ambiance of the whole movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not too much trivia, but there's the best for you.
Oh, righto. Well, Becca, your final thoughts and score out of 10.
All right. I feel like I've pretty much said everything that I want to say about this movie. I think it's fantastic, and I do think that it's one that I'll think about for a while. I think it's a pretty special movie, so I'm really glad that we did it. I'm having a hard time deciding what to rate it, and I may change this in the future because what I want to rate it feels a little bit low to how I feel, but I'm just going to go with it.
Go with your
So
gut.
I'm going to rate Moonrise Kingdom 8.9.
Still,
That's lower than you
Pretty
thought. Wow.
high.
Yeah, that's really high.
Yeah.
That's good.
I know it's high, but like I feel like I liked it more than that, but I don't think it's more than an 8.9 right now.
That's fair. Like we said, sometimes movies have to marinate a little bit.
Yep.
Sid, what do you got?
yeah, I think so. While like I didn't love it as much as I wanted to, I did like it more than the first time watching it. It's still a very enjoyable movie. Like it's one that I would rewatch for sure. But yeah, I pretty much said everything that I had to say on it. Yeah, but I definitely have like, after I saw this one, I was just like, I didn't really like Wes Anderson. I just like didn't like his whole deal. But I'm very glad that I've become repentant and repented for my sins. All hail Wes Anderson. I'm going to give this an 8.3.
Righto. Yeah, again, I think I've said everything I need to say. Very enjoyable. Like it a lot. I'm gonna throw this one. I'm gonna do an 8.5. Right in the middle between you two. Kind of.
All right.
You said 8.3, right?
Mhm.
8.3, 8.5, 8.9, 8.6.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Holy Moses, folks. That ties it with both Grand Budapest Hotel and Prisoners.
Huh. It's 2 weeks in a row we've had the same score.
Yeah.
And to your point, Sid, this is one that honestly, like, I could see myself liking it a lot more after watching it a second time.
Yeah.
So
Which I definitely did.
everything I say, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
That
Also, sorry, I know we like already closed this off, but like this was the very first one of his that I ever saw, and so like, you know, it was very different than the movies I was used to.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there we go, folks. That concludes our discussion of Moonrise Kingdom. We're going to get into some other topics now. I have a couple things I want to bring up. And then Sid has watched some movies that she's going to regale us on. First of all, have you heard anything about his upcoming film coming out next year?
Oh, you bet I have. Because the love of my life's in it.
I didn't know he was in it until I just looked it up.
Woo!
So this actually looks really good. French Dispatch, coming out 2020. Plot unknown, but reported to be set in France after World War II. Cast list. Leah Seydoux? I don't know her. But Elizabeth Moss.
Oh, she's a French actress.
Oh, Elizabeth.
Sorry.
Let's go.
Blue is the warmest color. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Elizabeth Moss, Tilda Swinton, Saoirse Ronan, Timothy Chalamet, Kate Winslet, Bill Murray, Willem Dafoe, Frances McDormand, Benicio del Toro, Jason Schwartzman, Christoph Waltz, Owen Wilson, Adrian Brody, Henry Winkler. Hello.
Oh
what
my
is this
God.
cast?
Jeez.
This cast looks amazing.
Throw
Wow.
in Jeff Goldblum, and you've got a winner of all time.
Seriously, what is this
Oh my
cast?
gosh. Like, this is like in the running to beat Dune in cast.
And that's not even the full cast. Who else
Yeah.
is on here?
Jeffrey Wright, the same narrator as this one, as Moonrise Kingdom. And those are like the last two that I recognize.
Yeah, everybody else I don't know. But
Yeah.
seriously, like they filled an entire unexpanded cast list with just amazing picks.
Yeah. I've seen some pictures of the set, and it looks good. Like I'm looking
ready.
at some right now.
I'm ready, especially if this is like in kind of a similar idea to Grand Budapest Hotel, where it has like political undertones. Like I'm into that.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. I just want to make sure that I'm sure that you like just have a Twitter alert set for any time that anybody tweets the name Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I wanted to make sure that you knew.
Of course I knew. Who do you think I am?
Right. Also, just so you guys know, we are down to less than a month before the release of Midsummer.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Woohoo.
I'm ready. I'm there. Opening night, July 2nd, 7 p.m. Let's go.
Woo. Let's do
Better
it.
make sure I have work off.
Yep. So whether you work or not, I'm going on July 2nd at 7 p.m.
I don't think I work, so we're
And
good.
then I'm going to go again that Saturday. And we're going to do that for the podcast.
Okay.
So I'm going to see it
Nice.
twice that week. Guaranteed. It's happening. So you guys can look forward to that. It's going to be a great, fun time.
We're very excited.
Just, some really crazy Swedish pagan rituals. Let's make it happen, folks.
Did you see what they posted on like their Instagram?
Yeah, the
Oh,
festival
that was
poster.
amazing.
So good.
Ugh.
So good.
Love it.
Finally, just before it clicks off of us, what do we watch, Becca?
We haven't watched any movies, but we finished Chernobyl,
Which is incredible. It's only 5 episodes. It's on HBO. You should watch it. It's so good.
It really is. That's
Wow.
all. I mean, there's not much to say about it
Mm-mm.
except that it was good.
It's so good. It does. I don't know. I could talk about it to death. It does a really good job of mostly accurately portraying the events. The only issue I have with it is that it portrays the events very accurately, but without explaining context, which is not the movie's it's not the show's responsibility to explain its context, so that's fine. But if you're not familiar with Soviet era politics and kind of the brainwashing that went on, then you might think that it's not portraying it accurately because of how wacky people act.
And I had Andrew the whole time, just like pausing it and explaining things to me.
It's really fun for her to watch things like that.
No, it actually is. Like I'm like it doesn't bother me.
All right, Sid, what do you got for us?
I watched Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh, you finally finished it.
Yes, I did.
Nice.
It was really good. It's probably like kind of those biopic ones, they're usually not really ones that I would like want to watch again. But it was really good, super solid performances.
Because both McConaughey and Jared Leto won for that one, right?
Yeah. And even though I really don't like Jared Leto, he's really good in it.
Excuse yourself.
I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of his methods.
But you haven't seen Blade Runner, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so that one was good. And then I watched Do the Right Thing today.
Oh, how was that?
I really liked it. It hasn't quite set in for me yet because I just watched it today. And it also, like, there was only the second Spike Lee movie I've ever seen, and it's
After BlacKkKlansman?
Yeah. And it's pretty wacky, like just like his filming style, and like it's very influenced by the 80s for sure. But it's great, and like once it like gets more serious and like gets to like the real meat of the movie, fantastic. I loved it.
Great.
And then I am almost done with Broadchurch, which is so good. Oh my gosh. I got my whole family into it now. It's so good. I wish I could watch it again for the first time. Olivia Colman is the love of my life. So.
Also, if you ever need to pick me up, just go watch her Oscar acceptance speech because it's the greatest thing ever.
Oh my gosh. After like someone tweeted all of her acceptance speeches to the theme of The Favorite, and I retweeted and said, "This is my only solace in this hellscape that is the Oscars." And it's true.
Yep.
We love her. She
love her.
Is a treasure.
It's true. She's a national treasure for the Brits.
I wish she was one for ours, but anyway, we still love her.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, considering we only recorded 3 days ago.
Yeah, we had to move up our schedule a bit on this one, guys, because
Yeah.
Becca works on Saturday.
Yep.
Lame.
In any case. Anything else that's pressing?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, folks, you inhaled like you were going to say something.
No,
were you
I
not?
just needed to breathe.
I mean, that's reasonable, but there are degrees of breathing, right? There's just like your standard whatever, and then you did like a...
Sorry, when I like talk about things, I forget to breathe sometimes. And then after I'm like, and that was it.
It was great podcasting. I loved those sounds.
Excuse me.
It's for you, listeners.
All right, everybody. This will bring our episode to a close. If you want to get in contact with us, as I said before, contact@wewatchpodcast.com. You can also slide into the DMs on facebook.com/wewatchpodcast. Instagram @wewatchpodcast. Twitter @wewatchpodcast. I think that's it. We love you. We appreciate you. Tell your mom about the podcast. We want your mom to listen to this so that she can tell her friends. We want to increase the age of our average listener, I think. Let's get some boomers in here, guys. All right. We love you. That's it. I'm Andrew.
I'm Becca.
I'm Sid.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.